Welcome to Post Week Natlin Edition. This is a bi-weekly show where I talk about my experiences going through Genshin Impact's Natlin. And I have just finished Act 2, but I haven't started Act 3 because I will be streaming Act 3 over on twitch.tv/posttimeskipsam. So if you want to see me stream some Genshin, check out the channel. It's going to be happening on Sunday. And if you want to know why I suddenly decided to start streaming Genshin again, check out the end of the video where I'll talk about more of that in detail. But first, hey, let's just talk about Act 2, shall we? So the introduction of Act 2 is Mualani telling us that the Abyss is cunning. Now, I never really thought that the Abyss would have the intelligence for a cunning activity. And even Madoka later in this act says that the Abyss is not a living entity. But the word cunning is so intriguing because Mualani is explaining that in the first cutscene of Act 2, that Natlin was affected the most by the Abyss during the Age of Khaenri'ah. Because as we later learn, the ley lines are not deeply rooted in Natlin. We already know that the Heavenly Principles modified the ley lines to protect Teyvat against the Abyss corruption. So I guess it makes sense that the Abyss would be attacking Natlin more frequently. But on top of that, when Mualani brings up another interesting point about the attack was planned, the Abyss knew exactly how to attack each of the tribes in Natlin. How is that even possible? How is that even a thing? She also explains that the Abyss is using the Night Kingdom to use the memories of Natlin against Natlin, which also gives us that confirmation. And we also get the note that the Night Kingdom works very similar to ley lines, where they are the memories of the area, right? So this is a big moment. And then just when I thought all of that information was a lot and very interesting, we're thrown into this beautiful moment of the Ode of Resurrection. The people of Natlin are praising and singing and bringing back Kachina. Also Kachina got lost in the Night Kingdom, and we're bringing back Kachina. Oh, Kachina, come back. She goes into the Sacred Flame and she comes out without Kachina. And I thought this was a very interesting moment because when I was thinking about what would happen, I was thinking, yeah, of course Kachina's going to come back. But the fact that this entire arc is built around us rescuing Kachina from the Night Kingdom, oh boy, did I sit up in my chair. Which leads the traveler to go ahead and try to find her ancient name in the Night Kingdom. And we meet a guy named Vichama, who was really cool, had a really cool relationship with his friend Malkov. And I was like, okay, cool, skip. You know, I was quickling through the dialogue a little bit quicker than usual. And then we get the moment where Vichama is is trying to summon the name of Kachina. We get the name of Kachina. He's like, no, I'm going to find Malkov's name. And man, then I was like, bro, this is cooking. I know I quickly went through your story stuff, but now I'm interested. And the fact that we even get this moment where we're like helping him out and we're trying to purify, we're smashing the X button, trying to purify him just in time. And then we start finding out that he's not letting go. He's still searching. He is about to be taken by the Abyss. What do we do? Chasa is like, don't worry, I got it. Breaks the damn thing. It breaks, shatters everywhere, but Vichama gets this beautiful memory of the final moments with his friend. And I was like, damn. You guys are making me feel stuff for these small characters. Usually I care about the big name characters, but I'm actually caring about these small characters. And then when we get to the Night Kingdom, Malkov is there and hey, I'll protect you. I'm like, this is coming full circle. I absolutely loved it. But before we even got to the Night Kingdom, right, we were told to dive deeper into underground Natlin. What do we find? An ancient dragon civilization. The world of Teyvat is just getting bigger and bigger. I don't know what happened at Hoyoverse, where they were like, we should probably give more world lore. But and I don't mean to degrade the other Archon quests. I think the other Archon quests are very cool, very fascinating. But to me, the story elements of Genshin and the reason why, I'm here again is really because I want to know more about the gods. I want to know more about the Fatui. I want to know more about the Abyss. I love those elements. My favorite moments of going through Genshin is anytime Danes showed up. I was like, time for the lore and everything. And the fact that the entirety of Natlan so far is just this world lore that we got like once a year is absolutely beautiful. This is what I want, and it seems like Nocrad is just going to be more of that. This is the kind of storytelling I really, really love, where we still get to learn about the tribes and about the people who live in these nations, but the overarching story that brings our traveler through it is the Abyss, is the world stuff. I just love it. I love it. And yes, Inazuma, Sumeru, Fontaine, Mondstadt, they all still have to do with the Abyss, the Fatui, all that stuff. But I just feel like in Natlan, it's so much more apparent and so much more stronger. Either way, we go to the Night Kingdom and we get several awesome moments. I mentioned the Malkov moment, but we also get the Kachina and Mulaney fight, which is so good. The fact that they're teaming up together of like, Kachina, you have the power as well. You're not weak. Let's go fight this Abyss Herald together. And Kachina's just like, drill, 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 drill. And dude's dead. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then we got the giant. Tupac showing up. You did well, Mulaney. You helped your people. And then he gives his spirit, his body to Mulaney. Mulaney has fulfilled her ancient name. She has awakened it, and all of her tattoos are all rainbow. It was sick. And then they disappear, but like that stuff was super cool. So I loved that. We also got this awesome moment where Kachina got to speak with her ancient name. That was dope. And look, I know I saw the cutscene, right? Where they're all reaching for the hole in the ceiling and it doesn't happen. And then Mavuka breaks open the Night Kingdom ceiling and everyone is free. That was cool when I first watched it. The second time I watched it, I was like, yeah, I know what happens. But man, learning how powerful, because originally I was like, oh, they're just underground. Sure, but it's cool visual. But learning that they are in the Night Kingdom and she somehow still broke open the sky to free them. And then learning that that was her consciousness. What? Insane. Some crazy Pyro Archon feats. I cannot believe she's just human. Oh, and the fact that she is fueling all of this power based off the memories of past warriors is awesome. All the tchotchkes and all the elements and things, tools that they used, all being used to save everyone was so freaking cool. Oh my god. And speaking of how awesome Mavuka is, okay, she's unique. Because we learn that during the calamity, as she pushed away the Abyss from Natlan, they all knew that in 500 years, the Abyss will return. And so she sacrificed herself to the sacred flame to then be reborn 500 years later as the Pyro Archon. Cinema, absolute cinema, so beautiful. We also got this really touching scene where she got to see her mother and her sister not understanding exactly like why she has to leave, but then eventually like going like, you know what, hope you don't forget me. It's such a beautiful moment, and it makes me think about like when they're saying that Mavuka was losing her power, does that mean that her power is tied to the sacred flame and that her life is tied to the sacred flame? So if the sacred flame dies, so does her powers and so does Mavuka. So absolutely incredible act 2. There's just nothing else to talk about here. It's incredible, insane. Of course, that would be if we weren't going to talk about Capitano, because oh my god, the fight between Mavuka and Capitano is incredible. But what I really love about this fight is like, yes, I saw this before, so I wasn't admiring the spectacle again, but what really interests me is why did Capitan lose? It brings up some really interesting story elements. Is this to show that the captain will eventually fight Madoka again? Is this meant to show that he was holding back a bit, that maybe he noticed that she was weak in the middle of their fight? Like, there are elements of this that, like, yes, the Pyro Archon, you can say, is a god fighting against a Fatui. Of course, the god will be stronger, but I don't think that is simply the case. And I really think that this writers are trying to tell us something about the way the captain is, who he is as a character. Him losing this fight, him being built up as the strongest Fatui, then losing? This seems like a very specific way of telling us a little bit about the captain. And of course, we get a tease at the very end. The captain is talking to some mysterious character. And I mean, to be fair, we saw, if who I think it is to believe, I believe we saw this character, a character standing next to the captain during the Ignition trailer. And I believe that was the Oro character, the Oro character, right? And we also know that someone from the Night Moon Wardens, right? The Night Wardens is up to no good, right? Is helping out the Fatui in some way. And that guy was wearing all black in the trailer, so I assume that's him. Either way, in this mysterious tease, there's something we learn about Captain. He is a very honorable fighter. Once he learned that Madoka was getting weaker, he refused to fight her until she was strong. We also learn that the person that is helping out the captain casted something. Something was casted. Now, what that could be, we don't know yet, but Madoka did notice it. The mysterious character does mention that Madoka noticed it, but she didn't refuse to dispel it. So this stuff is just, oh my God. It is so fascinating. I cannot wait, but I hope you all enjoyed my discussion and talk about how I felt about Act 2. Let's break it down. Why am I coming back to streaming Genshin again? First off, the overwhelming support you did for the first video of me talking about Act 1. What I love doing is I like sharing my experiences and what I love about stuff with you. It's why I've been talking about One Piece on the channel, Hunter x Hunter on the channel. I like stuff I like, and I like to talk about it. And the overwhelming response that you gave me on my first experience playing Natlan, and you guys just caring about listening to me just yap on about it, it was really nice. And there's a lot of you in the comments as well going like, hey, thank you. I love this video. I would have loved to see your reactions to the playthrough, the game, and whatnot. And so instead of just going, well, I got burned out last time, I won't do it this time, I wanted to kind of take several hours, really. I took several hours to think about this. And essentially, the way I have pieced it together is that I think that if I exclusively play Genshin on Sundays, I think that would be the most beneficial for me, because I will only be playing Genshin on stream, and I'll only be streaming Genshin on Sundays for about 2 hours. Now, it could obviously be longer, but at minimum, it will be 2 hours. This allows all of you to enjoy me streaming, and we can edit VODs. However, these afterthoughts videos, right, these discussions that I'm doing are still going to happen, except that after I stream the gameplay, I'll basically talk in the same way I'm talking to you right now, talking to you about Genshin Impact. And that's going to be kind of the vibe. We will still be doing these every other week, and then we'll be streaming Genshin every week. And this is experimental, so I will definitely let you know if I'm going to stop it or resume it. But at the very least, I'm going to try my best to stream Genshin every single Sunday, same time every week. We'll be going through all the quests that you see right here. This is the order in which I will be doing the quests as well, to catch up to Luna 1. So that's kind of the idea. I really wanted to just take a look at Because yes, I did get burnt out playing too much Genshin, but it was also a moment where I overwhelmed myself with too much gacha games, where I overwhelmed myself with too much things, where I felt like I couldn't do anything else in my life. It really felt that restrictive at the time. And I have since then figured out scheduling, figured out to-do lists, figured out so many ways to enjoy my life in the way that I want while still being able to create the content that I really want to do. And with this Genshin stream, this fits perfectly within my schedule. I don't even have to play Genshin, you know, everything is happening on stream. So as soon as I turn off the stream, I don't ever have to think about Genshin until the next week. So that already releases so much worry and stress that I might put myself through. I'm also no longer concerned about getting the most views and trying to release playthroughs and reactions exactly on time every single time. I did that before. I did that in 2023, where a video would get released at 8 p.m. and I'm like, all right, I was in bed now, but I guess get up and react to something, you know, like that's not going to happen anymore. So if a cool trailer releases, we'll watch it on Sunday. If there's a cool new Archon quest that got released on Tuesday, we'll play it on Sunday. Everything will get played and happening about Genshin on Sunday. That's the plan. I'll give you a list right here. There will be an edited VOD of the playthrough once I complete quests fully, right? 2 hours is not enough to complete most quests, but when they are fully, I will put them together. Every bi-weekly will be the afterthoughts video, so that should give me enough time to at least complete a lot of quests and get through a lot of content to talk to you about for at least 20 to 30 minutes, maybe even less. And lastly, I'll also be doing some like semi-shorts as well, based off my review stuff. So in case they're like 20 minutes is too long about you talking, you can enjoy it for a minute. Either way, that's it from me. I hope you all come by and join. Make sure, once again, this is not happening on YouTube. This is exclusively, we're streaming over on Twitch, and then VODs will get posted on YouTube, most likely 2 weeks after I stream it. Is kind of the current plan, because I do want my streams to be ahead of schedule than how they're posting on YouTube, because I also don't want to stress and rush about making sure these videos get edited and uploaded on time. Like I want to give myself some time, right? I want to enjoy my experience playing Genshin, and the way I have currently scheduled out Genshin for every Sunday, I think is going to optimize my enjoyment of Genshin and allow you also to enjoy that experience as well. So I will see you this upcoming Sunday. That being said, the next video you will see is not happening next week, but most likely the week after. Just because I want to make sure to get this announcement out first before letting you know about the streaming stuff, right? So my review about Act 3 is probably going to happen not next week, but the week after. Either way, thank you all so much for taking time and supporting me. Even after this break, seeing the amount of you who are like, hey, thank you for coming back. It's so awesome. It's really grateful because, man, it's been a lot of fun. And also for those of you who may ask, are you going to play Zenless Zone Zero Star Rail? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If I need to maintain my mental stability and healthiness and enjoying things, I can only focus on one gacha game at a time, and currently this is Genshin Impact. So until next time, I will see you later. Goodbye now. Bye.